The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Know thyself. The unexamined life is not worth living. He who knows others is wise. He who knows himself is enlightened. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. A wise man learns more from his enemies than a fool from his friends. It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. The superior man is modest in his speech but exceeds in his actions. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. Happiness depends upon ourselves. The only wealth which you will keep forever is the wealth you have given away. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. The only real failure in life is not to be true to the best one knows. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. All that we are is the result of what we have thought. In the end, only 3 things matter: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of things not meant for you. A wise man can learn more from a foolish question than a fool can learn from a wise answer. The harder you work for something, the greater you'll feel when you achieve it. He who is not a good servant will not be a good master. It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult. To see things in the seed, that is genius. Your time is limited. Don't waste it living someone else's life. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. When we long for life without difficulties, remind us that oaks grow strong in contrary winds, and diamonds are made under pressure. The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today. Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. The only real wealth is the wealth of the heart. The more you know, the less you need. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. To conquer oneself is a greater task than conquering others. What you are is what you have been. What you'll be is what you do now. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. The only thing that is constant is change. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Don't watch the clock. Do what it does. Keep going. The mind is everything. What you think you become. Wherever you are, be there totally. The harder you work for something, the greater you'll feel when you achieve it. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. The secret of happiness, you see, is not found in seeking more, but in developing the capacity to enjoy less. In seeking happiness for others, you find it for yourself. No one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. The best way to predict the future is to create it. You cannot step into the same river twice. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. What we achieve inwardly will change outer reality. The biggest communication problem is we do not listen to understand. We listen to reply. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. The only lasting beauty is the beauty of the heart. The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. He who has a why to live for can bear almost anyhow. In 3 words, I can sum up everything I've learned about life. It goes on. The only real failure in life is not to be true to the best one knows. The universe is transformation. Our life is what our thoughts make it. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. To see things in the seed, that is genius. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. The only wealth which you will keep forever is the wealth you have given away. In the end, only 3 things matter: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of things not meant for you. Happiness depends upon ourselves. The key to immortality is first living a life worth remembering. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. The purpose of our lives is to be happy. If you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. Your work is to discover your world, and then with all your heart, give yourself to it. He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe. The greatest wealth is to live content with little.